Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Civil Service Data Challenge semi-final. We're all really excited to have you here today. So, 10 minutes of presentation, then we'll fire questions at you for 15 minutes. We're delighted you can join us today. Away you go.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Jack. I head up the Prisons Data Science team at the Ministry of Justice. And I'm here to tell you that the prison system is struggling right now. What do I mean by struggling? Let me give you some stats. Performance ratings for prisons are at their lowest level in 8 years. Self-harm rates are at their highest level ever. Retention is a massive problem. We have staff resigning at a rate that is 5 times what it was in 2009. And that's without even mentioning the problems we have with overcrowding at the moment. But there is great practice out there. Some prisons are having much more success than others in tackling these big problems. And we have fantastic staff who are achieving brilliant things all across the system every day on very limited budgets. So our goal is to find this best practice and help spread it across all prisons. And in doing so, contribute to solving some of those big problems that we talked about. Currently, we rely on 2 things to make that happen. First is His Majesty's Inspectorate of Prisons inspections, which is a bit of a mouthful. These inspections tell us basically what is going wrong in prisons on an individual level, and also what is going right. The second thing is research and guidance on what works and on best practice. This comes from a whole load of organizations. So it comes from the inspectorate itself, it comes from reports produced by government directly, it comes from charities, comes from think tanks, and essentially these are reports that are produced that are hugely rich and detailed sources of information on how to tackle some of those big problems, and on examples of where it's being done really well already. But this richness and detail is in itself a problem, because let's say you are a governor of a prison somewhere in England, and you've had your inspection and it's told you that you have problems with drugs in your prison. You want to know things like, where else has that been raised? Which other prisons have implemented things that have had some success in tackling that problem? What have they done? How can I do the same thing? Well, what you'd have to do at the moment is you would have to go through the reports for all the other 123 prisons in the country. You would have to see, out of the 12 to 15 concerns raised in each of those prisons, coming to about 1,500 in total across all of them, which ones include the same problems as you. You might then also have to go through potentially dozens of other reports from other organizations looking at that issue and pull together which bits are relevant for you, which recommendations you can implement. And you have to do all of that whilst running a prison. This is simply not possible to do in a comprehensive way. And that is where InspectAI comes in. So I'm going to hand over to Ovi to talk about the solution that we envision.
We envision, we envision InspectAI as a tool for prison staff that will help facilitate access to a very rich database of open source reports. InspectAI is going to be an AI-powered search tool, and it will bring together the prison reports into a centralized repository. It will streamline access to critical information, and it will significantly reduce the review time that is needed from the users. InspectAI is going to harness the power of large language models, and it's going to facilitate seamless integration of both text and visual data. Here is a short demonstration of how AI can be used to do all of that. So imagine that you are a prison governor. You were just told that in the prison that you oversee, you have a problem with low time out of cell. You don't really know why this is happening. You do want to monitor the situation, and you do want to find solutions. So you could ask a simple question of what affects time out of cell, and then AI will scour across all different reports that are facing similar issues, and it will give you solutions. It will give you some of the most commonly reported factors, such as low staff or lack of access to education. It will also give you a reference to the original report, providing further in-depth knowledge if you do want to go and follow up on that particular issue. However, InspectAI is not just about understanding the problem, it's also about finding actionable solutions. So you can also use AI to look for initiatives that were implemented across prisons, and you will get a list of things that were used by different prisons. And they can range from extremely simplistic things, such as communal dining, to very complex solutions, such as a whole system revamp of tracking time. Finally, you can also use AI to evaluate those options. So you can ask how effective communal dining was, and you can get feedback, valuable feedback from institutions that actually implemented those ideas. In this case, communal dining was seen to have mixed evidence. It was effective in some prisons, but not others, depending on the characteristics of the prisons. And this is how you can use AI to scour through that rich information, and it's just version 1.0 of InspectAI. In version 2, we would like to make this more user-friendly, and you would already have some information readily available without having to do that manual search. So, for example, let's imagine we are HMP Pentonville, and we already have the list of big issues that we are facing here. You can click on some of the issues, and you will get multiple tabs. You will get a tab that will show you where those issues were raised, other prisons that are facing similar issues. You can see your recommendations, and you can also see what other prisons have implemented in order to solve those issues that you are facing. So now I'll hand over to Vadish, who will talk to you about the future of InspectAI.
So what will be the better future for HMPPS using InspectAI? So there are two factors associated with insights, which is used to create an actionable plan to make better data-driven decisions. And we have efficiency, which works in bringing the best practices for the current prison staffs from other prisons and to make improved outcomes. So once developed, we believe our solution could be expanded and used beyond HMPPS to other government bodies like local councils, NHS healthcare systems, or police forces to meet increasing demands and solving complexities related to data. So for example, I could think of story reports. So integrating InspectAI could help school authorities to gain valuable insights and raising their standards in education system. So to conclude, we have been looking ways to improve our current infrastructure and bringing external data sources such as case notes or other unstructured data to bring into a system. So in that way, we would be able to gain more valuable insights out of it. So we believe that the prize money could help us to take our current project to the next level. Thank you so much for listening, and we are open to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Who would like to kick us off? John?
Thank you. I'm just really interested in understanding the technology solution you're applying. Can you just unpack that a bit for me? Is it a repository of data that you're applying an off-the-shelf large language model to? Are you building that yourself? Can you just tell me how it works? That'd be really helpful.
Sure, that's probably what I can pass to you.
Yep, I can start answering the question. So it is at the moment going to be a repository of the data containing all the publicly available reports, and we will be applying that off-the-shelf AI solution to it. We will have to scour the market and look at different options that are available, and yeah, it will be an off-the-shelf product.
So what have you used for this demo? Is it a Chat GPT or is it a...
This is Google Gemini.
Yeah, the repository of reports actually already exists. There's a performance team in the Ministry of Justice that pulls this text together. And we spoke to them when we were looking at putting this pitch together, and they basically said they've got all this text and they just don't have the resource or the capability to do stuff with it. That was kind of where we thought, okay, well, it's all publicly available, it's pulled together already. This is a perfect use case for one of those off-the-shelf language models.
So Tim, Simon Bourne from the Home Office, leading the DDAP function there. So great to hear you set this out. I can completely, firstly, understand how practically it would work, and secondly, the benefits would come from it. But just to dive into those benefits, how strongly do senior prison leaders want this? And is there any way you could ever quantify the benefits that giving them that insight would bring?
Wonderful. I wonder if I want to put either of you on the spot, or if I should talk. Maybe I can come straight on that as the only one of us who works at the Ministry of Justice. I think realistically we're actually going to build something